All right, so let's go ahead and work on our home view controller now. So open up your home view controller, and we're gonna create some UI elements at the top first. So I'm gonna create a mark, and I'm gonna say UI elements, and there's gonna be a mark for life cycle, and in case you don't know, these marks actually appear as, like, sections within your view controller. When you look at this breadcrumb control within Xcode, you can actually jump around. For example, we don't have much element right now, but I can actually jump around different sections. So I'll show you, like, how you can get around once we have more content and we are scrolling back and forth, like, okay. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create our start button. So I'm gonna create private lazy bar start button, and this is gonna be our circular button that we created. Okay, and we are simply going to create a view circular button, and we are gonna return that view. First thing we're gonna set before we forget is to set the auto constraint to be false. Auto resizing mask into constraint to be false. Then I want to have border width, and I'll say border width is going to be 15. Border color, we can use color literal in this case, and you can pick, like, any color, like for example maybe, like, this kind of purple, but I'm gonna actually replace this with my project that I had, like, it's sort of like lighter shade of purple, so I'm gonna use that. Okay, you're gonna set the title text to be run, and we are also gonna add target. When user taps on it, we want something to happen, so we're gonna define that, and the target is gonna be on self. There is gonna be a selector, so I'm gonna just create an empty selector for now, and I'm gonna say touch up inside is gonna be the event when this is gonna get fired. I'm gonna create another section here, and I'm gonna call this helpers. Okay, and we're gonna create an Objective-C private func, and this one is basically the selector that we're gonna call whenever this start run button is tapped upon. So I'm gonna call this start running. Okay, it's not gonna take anything, and we just gonna simply call that start running, like so. Okay, so that is our start button. Okay, then we are going to basically put a top label that's going to basically have the title for the page. So if we go back, this run awesome is basically the start. So I mean the title for the page. So you can use navigation view. I'm actually going to just use a simple label. So I'm gonna say private lazy bar top label UI label, and we're gonna set some properties. So we wanna set the text to be run awesome. We're gonna set the text alignment to be center, font to be 32 in size, text color to be dark gray. All right. Yeah, I guess that'll do. Okay, next element we need is this map view, and we're gonna make this map view, but we're gonna make it a little bit like we're gonna set the transparency to, like, 0.6, so the background can basically we can see the background, and that's gonna give this like map a little bit like of this view, basically, like the gradient effect. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So you can say private lazy bar map view. Now for map view, we need to import mapkit. Okay, and we're gonna say mk map view. All right, and let's create our map view. And we're gonna once again translate this to false, because we wanna set the layout constraint ourselves using auto layout. We're gonna set the alpha value to be 0.6 and delegate to be on ourselves. So let's create an MD for extension, and we're gonna create an extension on HomeViewController, and we're gonna make this map view delegate. Okay, we're gonna make this view controller conform to mk map view delegate, because we're gonna be implementing view functions from this delegate. Okay, all right, so after that, let's go ahead and create an instance for our location manager. So local variables is the section name, and we're gonna say private var location manager, and we're gonna simply initialize this location manager right here. Okay, now inside the view did load, once again we're gonna call setup views, setup constraints. Okay, these two functions, so simply create them right here. Okay, so that's going to be basically our functions, and then we're going to call these, so we have already called this from view did load. Now we also want to check the authorization, so we're going to say location manager dot check location authorization, because we want to launch that prompt that this app requires the access to the location. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to do in the setup view. We're also gonna add sub views to our view. First thing we're gonna add is gonna be top label, then we're gonna add our map view, and the start button. Okay, now we have added our views. Now it's time to set these basically views constraints. So first we're gonna have top label constraint, so its layout constraint dot activate, and this takes an array, and this is where we're gonna basically define our constraints using anchor strategy, so leading anchor, trailing anchor, and stuff like that. So first thing, we're gonna set up top label, and top label is gonna have a leading anchor constrained to our view dot leading anchor, and we don't have any constants, so I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to copy and paste this 4 times. Okay, so next is going to be trailing anchor, and we want this to be trailing anchor to the view itself, so pin it to the trailing of the view, and then top anchor. And this one, I want to basically set this to the safe area layout guide. So I'm going to say safe area layout guide dot top anchor. So we use safe area layout guide, which is right below this notch right here. If you set up this to view.top area, then your run awesome is gonna basically be, so your constraint is gonna start from here and your label is gonna be somewhere around here. So that's what we don't want that, like, so we want like a little bit of a breathing room, so this don't run into the notch itself. And this plays well with the button based phones as well that have, like, touch ID and stuff. Okay, so that's our top. Now we're gonna define the height for this guy, and I'm gonna say height is gonna be constraint equal to constant is the one that I'm gonna use as an overload, and I'm gonna say the height for this guy is gonna be 50 points. Okay, so that's our top label. Okay, and if I run this right now, okay, so this is awesome. We have few things going on here. We have a button visible here, like, that button needs a location, so we can actually set that, and our map as well. But look at this, location, ns location when in use description is not added in info.plist. That's amazing. Like, thank you Xcode for giving us this hint. We do need that permission from our user whenever we are asking for tracking their location. So I'm gonna simply copy that key and paste it and click enter, and this is gonna basically populate the right value. And this needs to be a description that can explain why you need this location permission. So this is basically explaining to the best of your possible, like, in best words, like in a concise manner, like, why you need users location. So we're gonna say need location to track run. Okay, that actually explains why do we need it. Simply save this and go ahead and give it another run, and there we go. So this is what we see. I'm gonna say allow. Okay, and that is allowed to see. But reason we actually launched this, so we can see, like, that our label is located just fine. So, like, it is good. Now we're gonna constrain our map view. So ns layout constraint dot activate, and we are simply gonna add a map view, and a map view is gonna be pinned to the leading and trailing sides, but for the top is gonna be pinned to the top label, and for the bottom is gonna be to the bottom safe area layout guide. Okay, so constraint equal to view dot leading. Okay, once again copy and paste. Same thing is gonna go for trailing anchor. There you go, trailing anchor. There you go. Yeah, and for the top anchor, we're gonna say top anchor, and this is gonna be top label dot bottom, and we're gonna space it by 8 points. Okay, and then for the bottom anchor, we're gonna pin it to the safe area layout guides bottom anchor. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a go, and what we should see is a map right there. So that is really that's really nice. Okay, so yeah, this is a fully interactive map, as you can see, and you can actually zoom in and out, and that's what we have right now. All right, so next thing, or the last view that we're gonna set the constraint to is going to be our start button, start run button. Okay, and it's going to be an layout constraint dot activate, and right here we say start button dot width anchor dot constraint equal to. Okay, so we need to set this equal to constant. Okay, and this is going to be 100 points. All right, same goes for the height, because we want this to be a circle, so width and height are going to be same. And that way, like, you know, our corner radius is going to be width divided by 2, which is 50, and it's going to make a perfect circle. Okay, for the bottom anchor, we're going to constrain this equal to view dot safe area layout guide dot bottom constraint, and we want to create a constant for -10. So we want to actually raise it up 10 points from the bottom, so we're going to use -10 for that. And for the X location, like, you know, for the view, we're going to say center to center X anchor equal to, and this is going to be view dot center X, so center it on the view in x-axis. Okay, so this is what we're gonna see as the run button be. Okay, all right, so there are a few more things we need to do. First thing we need to do is for our start run button, where did it go? Okay, we're gonna simply print right now start running. Okay, and for the HomeViewController, we need basically to show users location, but we need to wait until the map did finish loading. And if you remember, we actually added this view controller as the delegate for ourselves, so whenever the map is loaded, we're gonna get that by calling or implementing map view did finish loading map. So as soon as the map is finished loading, we're gonna simply say map view dot show users location is equal to true, and we want our map to follow users location, so user tracking mode is gonna be follow. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a go one more time, and let's see what we see. So there we go. So as you can see, our user is actually running right now on the street, and our map is constantly centered on the user's location, right? So that is what this gives us. Basically, this guy right here, show user location, shows the user location, and user tracking mode keeps it in the center of the screen. Okay, all right, with that, our home view controller is actually finished. It's not quite finished because we're gonna come back and bind this run button to our basically launch the current run view controller, but like, you know, as far as the UI goes, it's all complete. So in the next video, we're gonna basically create our current run view controller. Now current run view controller, I could tell you it's gonna be a big one. So because it's gonna have, like, you know, a lot of things in it, so we're gonna probably divide that into 2 videos, and then we have, like, you know, our history button and stuff coming up right after that. All right, so this is it for this video. Thanks again for watching.